is never enough.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Hello Survivor Buffs, it's me, Toby, and on behalf of the Buff Headwear Company, I want to welcome you to my latest Toby's Tribal for Survivor Cambodia Second Chance. We have in the past few weeks gone from two tribes, Bayonne and Takeo, to add a third tribe, which is the Angor tribe, represented by yellow buffs. Two members of that tribe are who I'm going to talk about today. They have been to all four tribal councils because they were members of former Takeo and now members of Angor. And Abby Maria, one of Survivor's newest villains from Survivor Philippines, and Jeff Varner, one of Survivor's older players from Survivor Australia, have had an interesting dynamic this whole 4 weeks. At times it seemed like one was playing the other. At times it seemed like they really had a genuine friendship. But really, I think that their relationship was forged in the fact that they're both kind of crazy. But in different ways. So I thought that through their own words, we'd look and see the different types of crazy and how I'm kind of bummed one's gone and kind of annoyed one's still there. Let's look at this relationship, crazy in love. In episode 1, we met these players again for the first time of their second chance. And we got to see why they, in their own words, said that they're going on this adventure again.
You know, when I look back on my season, I made a lot of mistakes.
I mean, that is the understatement of the episode. Her first season was so much more than a mistake. The whole thing was a disaster, and the fact that she thinks she's patching up little bits, it's just inane.
Seriously, are you insulting my intelligence right now? You're trying to freaking fool me? I'm not stupid. I shouldn't have done that, but having a second chance to come back and patch those little mistakes. But I like having fun. Villains have more fun.
I don't know if it's 15 years of waiting for this opportunity, and here it is, but it's coming at the right time for me. I'll be 50 next year. That's a big year. And most men my age go through a midlife crisis. They buy a Corvette, they cheat on their wives. I go on Survivor. It's not about a midlife crisis, it's about a midlife quest. And the second half of my life begins with Survivor Second Chance.
So here we begin to see the two types of crazy at work. In Abby Maria's case, it's I want to be crazy, I want to be this crazy person, this villain.
There is no reason for her to steal my bracelet, but in my head, I'm like, maybe she was trying to waken the Brazilian dragon. You know what? Shove that freaking bag up her.
It's being crazy to get attention, and also being crazy because you don't understand how you're coming off. It's a complete lack of self-awareness. Jeff, on the other hand, is a kind of crazy that's open to do kind of crazy things. And we see this openness as he deals with Spencer and Shireen playing a game he doesn't quite understand.
This train took off, and I'm glad I'm on it. I just got on it. I don't care who's pulling me in the woods. Yes is your answer.
And then we saw Abby Maria demonstrate fully her lack of self-awareness in the tribal council.
Now I see the division. Clearly.
And what is it?
Clearly a male thing that's going on with them.
There was no male alliance. It wasn't happening. But as she says again at that tribal council, she's trying to work on these things, and she puts out this, one of many platitudes that she learned from some self-help book that she thinks is going to make people believe that she has made the changes she needs to be making in order to win the game.
He's hitting on the thing you just said you wanted to work on, is your social skills.
Right. There's always room for growth. You're always learning every day, little by little.
The second episode provided us with a lot of Abby time, as that was the episode that contained this huge argument with PG after Abby is just like annoying the whole time because she got the 4 votes. Abby won't let the 4 votes go and also says stupid things.
Got off on the wrong foot then. Yeah, I guess so. See, this is the thing. When you do that, oh, well, whatever. Well, what do you want me to tell you? You already made your decision. What do you want me to say?
It's amazing to me that Abby can just can berate PG and say, you've already made up your mind, so I can't do anything. Meanwhile, that's exactly what Abby herself does. She is able to see the faults in others that are exactly her faults. But in her immature mind, nothing is wrong with her. She's fine. She's doing the work. She's patching those little holes. Those holes have sunk in the ship 12 times over, honey. That can't. We also saw Abby and Jeff's relationship sort of develop deeper as he took advantage of her being down after getting laughed at by the whole tribe. To me, a fine result of her being so annoying the whole time. And he starts to use her to create an alliance to get out Shireen.
I like your little moments. They turn me on.
That is music to my ears, that people actually want to work with me and that they actually find me, you know, a joy.
And towards the end of episode 2, we have one thing that I love about Jeff Varner, which is one of his great summaries of the situation. He was always very good about, with his southern drawl, like just summarizing what was going on, and often in a really, really eloquent way, as he did here when talking about the fate of Shireen and Spencer.
Spencer and Shireen had their fate in their own hands and they lost it. Now, one of those two is going home tonight. How poetic.
Abby, who believes that people really, really enjoy her personality and could not possibly be using her or whatever, turns out to be the final nail in the coffin, and Shireen does go home. Jeff was correct, and after this, things really went downhill. Once the tribe split happened and they all shuffled up and became 3 tribes and Angkor was created, it was discovered that on the Angkor tribe were 4 former Takeo members and 2 former Bayon members. However, at this point, the Takeo tribe, the Takeo-ness, was doomed because 2 of those 4 members were Jeff and Abby. And in that small of a group, you can't have too much crazy. It's gonna have to feed off each other, which is eventually what happened. Jeff Varner became super crazy, Abby style, later on in episode 3. And he had this freak out. He was saying something to Wigglesworth, and Tasha stopped him, kind of understanding what's going on. And he, when asked what was going on, just went off and just laid everything out there, which you just don't do.
I made a deal with you, and then he's turned right around and made a deal with her. Jeff, you're wrong.
However, immediately, he was aware that he was the problem, that it was his mistake, and that he had to fix it.
Tasha called me a rat. I shouldn't have done that. I'm in the middle of a big old mess, and I gotta figure out a way to get out of it.
It's the kind of self-awareness you don't see, or that we still don't see, from Abby. We just don't see it. She does, however, say things like this.
After I saw how unpredictable Varner's, I think that he needs to go next. But Wu did vote for me, and PG is sketchy too.
What the hell? Oh, Varner is irrational? Oh, PG is sketchy? I mean, you do know we're watching the show, don't you? Because that's... Oh my god. Kettle, hello? This is Pot. Yeah, you're black. Uh-huh. This is a time in which we see their friendship and how the genuine part of it, and that she actually does save him. So we see both that their friendship is genuine and that she is wishy-washy, she's back and forth, but also don't slight her because like a child, she will take her ball and go home. Jeff Varner at Tribal Council once again displayed an interesting summary of the situation and awareness of himself and what's going on.
Great would it be if I could escape here tonight without one vote? Wouldn't that be crazy? So I guess Savage and Tasha have found their way from the bottom of the heap to the top. Savage and Tasha are in control of tonight's vote.
He turned out to be correct, got no votes, and PG was eliminated in episode 3.
Crazy, I'm crazy for feeling.
In episode 4, we saw the culmination of this relationship between 2 kinds of crazy. When they eventually lose the challenge and Varner hurts his foot, he unfortunately displays, again, a lot of self-awareness, maybe too much.
I am absolutely no threat to anyone. For the record, Varner's not a physical threat.
I don't think you really want to be telling everybody that you're like not a physical threat at this point in the game. Like maybe that's like TMI. But meanwhile, Abby is still focused on Wu giving her those votes twice. When she's talking to Woo, Abby does two things. First of all, she just expresses what we already know. She's super insecure, and she just wants to be loved and wanted.
I've been reflecting as well, and it feels good to be wanted.
Yeah.
They're making me feel so comfortable in such a good spot. So
She also goes back on what she said about PG already having made up her mind because she won't accept what Woo is saying. Varner knows how to deal with this immaturity and really hits on that insecurity and how much he loves her and uses emotional pleas to try to get her to keep him in the game.
Abby Z, I have been loyal to you since day one because I adore you. I will not vote for you. I have not voted for you. I am loyal to you till the end of it. So I hope you repay that to me.
Interestingly enough, Abby's vote wasn't needed in order to ensure that Varner went home. Savage, Natasha, and Woo could have voted him out. But they did what good Alliance members do, and they went for a consensus, unlike what Abby does. She did go with them, and at the end, Varner was voted out, and she was one of the votes. But by doing that, by making it seem like her vote was like super important, it just validated her even more. And I don't know what she's going to be like in the coming weeks. But I know this. I don't want her there. She's awful. She hasn't changed, and there's just no way she's going to win this game. Her kind of crazy is the kind of crazy you don't want to be around, the kind of crazy you need to cut out of your life. And when she's confronted with Tasha, she says something that I'm pretty sure she rarely says.
I'm trying to make you feel better.
I'm thinking.
I'll just listen.
Oh, are you? I'm thinking too. I'm thinking you need to go. Jeff Varner, on the other hand, he's kind of crazy, is kind of crazy that I in particular enjoy. And it's a kind of crazy that's really self-aware. It's kind of crazy that he explains things in a different way, and until it comes up with that other kind of crazy, can do pretty well in a game like this. Unfortunately, injury and Abby, and maybe his past, it got the best of him, and he was voted out this past week 4. Jeff Varner will be missed, and partly also that's because he kept having interactions like this.
Hit the gas. What just bit my ass? To not be able to put two thoughts together, to get up and walk to use the bathroom. What was that?
Well, maybe that's the proof. I mean, when the bugs and the little bitey things don't like you, maybe you just got to go. Jeff Varner, you will be missed. Abby, not so much. And that's all I've got, Survivor Buffs. Oh, we have to do our, of course, Wearer of the Week. And this, for this segment of time, the Wearer of the Week is Woo, who showed what a buff can be used for when you are having to deal with and react to someone like Abby. He just put that thing over his mouth, and it's the same thing I would have done to keep from either screaming or laughing or just hiding my face in shame that I had to listen to this idiot talk. Woo, sorry you had to do it, but you are this week's Wearer of the Week. Well, Survivor Buffs, that's all I've got. On behalf of Buff Headwear, I want to thank you for watching Toby's Tribal #2 for Survivor Cambodia, Second Chance. Make sure you go to the Buff website and check out my written recaps for every episode, and also check out all their cool products that they have. They have a lot of stuff coming up for winter. I know we just had some cold days here in New York, so winter's here. Winter is nigh. And so they got great stuff for winter and for summer, so check out what they got. You can also find me on the World Wide Web at TobyBlackwell.com. You can go to my YouTube page. You can also check out my SoundCloud to hear some of my music clips. And make sure that you like things on there, share things on there, subscribe to me, comment, let me know what you'd like to see me or hear me do in the future. I hope you enjoy my kind of crazy, and I hope that you guys stay crazy, good kind. And as crazy as you are, I hope you always make good choices.